So in order to make the Soft and Snuggly mini shawl, you'll need Bernat's Velvet yarn. Comes in this great big skein by Yarnspirations. And to make the one that I made, you want to use Burgundy Plum. But this yarn comes in a lot of great colors. If you go on my website, celticknotcrochet.com, you'll see I made made a scarf out of 2 different colors with this yarn, a light purple and a light blue. They have so many pretty colors, but this is the color I want to use for this particular shawl. So to start the shawl, what you want to do is make sure you have a nice long yarn tail when you put your slip knot on your hook. And then you're going to chain 70. I just did 30 here because I'm making a mini version, a mini of the mini that would work well for one of the 16-inch dolls or a stuffed animal to have their own. And then you fasten off and leave another 6 to 8 inch yarn tail. So here is the beginning chain. And then you'll put your slip knot on your hook again, but this time same thing, 6 to 8 inch yarn tail. We'll trim them all later so they're all the same size, but by having them nice and long right now, that allows for mistakes. You don't want to have one that's too short. And now I find my first chain, and I'm just going to do the herringbone half double crochet right into that first chain without joining with a slip stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, then I'm going to put my hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain, and then I'm going to keep pulling through that first loop on my hook. Then I yarn over and pull through the 2 loops left. And then I just continue that way all the way across the row. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to continue like that all the way across. Oh, I forgot my yarn over. And this will be my first row. And you'll see, because I started and stopped after each row, I'm going to have these yarn tails that will turn into the fringe. I'll do one more here for you. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So I'll show you again. Yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain, grasp the bottom, and keep pulling through that first loop on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2. And I'm going to continue like that all the way down to the other end of the chain. And as you get the hang of it, what I like to do is I yarn over, put my hook in, and then after I pull through the chain, I just readjust, grasp again so I can keep pulling through that first loop, and then pull through the 2. And it ends up going quickly if you just readjust after each pull through the chain. And you'll see it starts to make this really pretty texture. So continue all the way down to the end. So now I've gone all the way down my chain with this stitch, and I have one more chain left. And this is what you're going to do when you get to the end of each row. You're going to cut the yarn about 8 inches, yarn over, pull through, make a nice knot, and fasten off. Now what's going to happen, if you would like to mark the front of your work with a stitch marker, so you're positive that you don't get it all turned around. That might be a good idea. So this way I know this is always going to be the front. You're never going to turn your work. You're always going to keep the right side facing, and you're going to end by cutting the yarn like that at the end of every row. And the yarn tails are actually going to turn into your fringe, and you won't need to weave any of them in because you're building the fringe right in. So the key is when you go to start your next row is to leave a generous yarn tail. You'll trim them all later so they're all the same exact length. So I like to do 7 to 8 inches, and then I'll trim it off at the end. Now the other thing you're going to do every beginning and end of the row is do a decrease. So I like to just join right in without the slip stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to put my hook right into that first stitch, I'm going to yarn over, pull through the first stitch and through that first loop, and then I'm going to stop. And I'm going to do it again in the next stitch. Yarn over, put my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch and through the first loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull all 3 together. So I just did herringbone half double crochet 2 together, or 2 herringbone half double crochets together. So I decreased inside this stitch. So I'll show you how to do that again. Put my starting loop on my hook, making sure I have a good amount of length on my yarn tail because that's going to turn into my fringe. Find the first 2 stitches right here, and then I'm going to yarn over, put my hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and yarn over, pull through that first loop on the hook. Now I have 2 loops on my hook, and I'm just going to leave them there for now. Yarn over, hook through the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and keep pulling without a new yarn over through that first loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook that I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is my decrease because I want this to become a triangle. So I need to make it smaller by 1 stitch on both sides every row. And now I go back to doing the herringbone half double as before. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through stitch, pull through first loop on hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through stitch, yarn over, pull through first loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through stitch and through first loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to continue that all the way to the other end. Okay, so I've gone all the way across. The second row, you can see the nice texture with the velvet yarn. And now I'm at my last 2 stitches here. 1, 2. I'm going to do the same thing again. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through the stitch and through the first loop. Leave the loops on the hook. Yarn over, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through stitch and through the first loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And there I decreased right there. Now I'm going to cut the yarn about 8 inches out, yarn over and pull through, snug it up to make a knot, and there is the fringe already starting. Decrease in the first 2, work across to the last 2, decrease in the last 2, fasten off. And you just keep going, and eventually you'll have only 1 stitch left. I'll show you how it goes. So as I'm working on the Soft and Snuggly mini shawl, you can see how the decreases create this triangular shape. And I quickly have just a handful here of stitches left. So I'll do another row where I start my slip knot 6 to 8 inches up from the end. So I have this nice long yarn tail. Put my hook on using a K, and then I just start right in. Here are the first 2 stitches right here, and I yarn over, put my hook in, yarn over, pull through the stitch and through the first loop on my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over, put my hook in to the next stitch, pull through the first loop on my hook, then yarn over, pull through everything. And I did, so that is my decrease right there with the nice long yarn tail that will turn into the fringe. And now I continue with the herringbone half double crochet. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through stitch and through the first one, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through stitch in the first one, yarn over, pull through 2. And I continue that to the end and do the decrease again. So here I am down to almost the last row. I have just 4 stitches left here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this row is going to be a decrease here and a decrease here. So I put my yarn on my hook, yarn over, hook in the first stitch, pull through the first stitch and through the first loop, then do that again, yarn over, hook in, pull through stitch, pull through first loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and now I'll do that one more time for these 2 last stitches, yarn over, hook in, pull through stitch, pull through 1, and then yarn over, hook in, pull through stitch, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you can see now there's only 2 stitches left. I'm going to cut the yarn, as you can see, cut a nice long tail, yarn over, pull through to make a knot, and now I have just 2 stitches left. So now I have the last 2 stitches right here, yarn over, hook into the first stitch, pull through the first stitch and the first loop, then yarn over, hook into the second stitch, which is the last stitch, pull through first loop, 3 loops on my hook, just like all the other decreases. And now it's reduced down to 1 stitch. Cut the yarn again, about 6 to 8 inches away, yarn over, pull through, and then what I think I did here at the very end is I tied those last 2 together like that, and then you'll see that your project is a nice triangular shape from decreasing a stitch on each side all the way down. And then I lay it out on a nice flat surface, and you could use a piece of cardboard that's 4 to 6 inches long and lay it down so you're sure to get them all the same length. I just eyeballed it, used my scissors, and just went through and gave my fringe a haircut. And then there you have it, the soft and snuggly mini shawl, perfect for any little girl you know, from toddler age all the way up to probably age 6 or 7. This would fit them nicely, and it is so soft. And if you make it in this color, then it just happens to match the shawl that they wear in the movie Frozen 2. Hope you had fun. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.